Arkansas Court of Appeals. It's a nonpartisan judicial race which includes all of Pulaski, Perry, and Saline County. So I will be on your ballot, and I would be honored to have your vote. I also want to thank the AKA chapter, Saline County chapter, for hosting tonight, and especially for all of you in the audience for taking time out of your busy schedules. An informed voter is one of my favorite voters, and one I especially care about as a judicial candidate because, as I mentioned, we're nonpartisan and we're also prohibited from talking about many of the issues. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a native of Little Rock, a proud Central High graduate, which I have to say looks tiny compared to Bryan High School where we are tonight, and Davidson College in North Carolina. But I was called to come back home. I was reared in a family where public service and hard work were not only encouraged but expected, and I've always wanted to give back to this great state and its people. So I have a master's degree in public service from the Clinton School. I see one of my classmates out here, and a JD from the Bowen School of Law, and I've had the privilege to work with the Arkansas Court of Appeals for almost a decade. It is interesting and important work. It is the court of last resort for most Arkansans. So obviously the Supreme Court is higher than the Court of Appeals, but more often than not, the Court of Appeals is the starting of the appellate process and also where it ends. And so if you all will help me spread the word to your friends and family about the importance of this race, I sure would appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Also, just want to remind candidates that our timekeeper is right here in the front. Yes, thank you so much. All right, and our last question for you, Judge. Can you share a difficult ruling that you've recently had to make and explain why you ruled in that manner?
Well, thank you for elevating me to judge. I will clarify, not until hopefully victory in November and taking the bar, or taking the bench in January, but thank you for that, Amber. Again, judicial candidates are bound by the judicial codes. I'm not trying to be evasive, but we really can't speak much about how we would rule or certainly why the Court of Appeals ruled in a certain way. I will tell you all certainly, and I've been there now almost a decade, so I can attest to having the relevant experience in the specialized area working with other judges and the lawyers. But I always treat each case that comes before the Court of Appeals as the most important case, because to those parties it is the most important case of their lives, and that is what I promise to do, and I hope to be able to be your judge come January. Thank you.